Hello, good afternoon guys. Welcome to MK Convenience Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to explain to you about the New York State Teaching Certification Exam Educating All Student Test. This is conducted by Nystce Teaching Fellows, so I'm grateful for them to help get a study guide for help to practice and everything. A few things before we start the study guide. I just want to let you know, in order to become a teacher in New York City, you need to take certain certification exams. Some of the certification exams are, as you see one on the screen, Educating All Student Test. There's CST Test, Content Specialty Test, which has math, English, and science. And if you're obviously, depending on which route you go to, if you're teaching high school, if you're teaching elementary school, if you're teaching 1 to kindergarten to 2nd grade, whatever the case is, every one of those teachers have their own course of conduct for taking the exam. So let's say, for example, if you're an elementary school teacher that are planning to teach in New York City, you are going to take this exam, you're going to take that CST, and you're going to take the ALST, depending on your category and depending on your qualification. It all depends on that. But these exams, some of them are a must and you have to take them. There's also one of the exams where most teachers do have to take, is also known as EdTPA. It's basically an exam where you make a video of yourself teaching, and then you have to send it to them, seeing that if you hit all the pedigree information, pedagogical strategies and everything, so that they know that as a teacher what to expect from you if you do teach in the classroom in the future. So this is some recommended testing preparation plan. First of all, in order to take any test, you have to register. Be sure to give yourself at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance before you sign up for the test date. Ensure you have sufficient time to study. These tests are not easy. They are basically based on how much you know and what qualification you have. So keep that in mind. These tests will basically be prepared on how much information you studied on. Review the testing overview and identify your knowledge gaps within the testing competencies. Study the words and concepts identified as gaps. Take a practice exam. Basically what they're saying is, before you go take the test, make sure you study the material, take a practice exam. Once you take the practice exam, whatever questions you don't have right, or whatever question you're having problem with, study that topic, because that's how it is. Let me see if they talk about over here. Well, here it is. There are actually 5 in Educating All Student Tests. There are 5 main competencies assessed within the test. Diverse student population, English language learner, student with disabilities and other special needs, learning needs, teacher responsibilities, and homeschool relationship. So these are the 5 questions that 5 topics that the EAS will talk about. Keep that in mind. If you know about all these topics, it will be easy for you because the questions are based on scenarios. So how it works is, you'll get the first scenario of a teacher teaching, let's say, English language learning class, saying that they have 2 students, Maya and Jimenez, make up the names, having difficulties in reading skills because they just came from their country. Now they like something scenario like this they will make up, and it's up to you to decide how to interpret the question that they're asking, and see what are they really asking, because the answers look every answer looks like the answer. That's the issue. But based on your studies and everything, if you studied good, you should be okay with it. But keep that in mind. But these are the 5 main parts that they'll ask you from. These are approximate number of questions they're going to ask you. Keep this in mind as well. If you do good, don't take too much time on the essays. Essays are only worth 30%, meaning that 70% of the questions and everything, if you want to pass, is going to be based on multiple choice questions on what are the scenarios, situations that I was telling you about. So keep, like, diverse student population is going to be 11 questions. That's 10%. English language learner, this is going to be 10%. The student with disability is 10%. Teacher responsibility and homeschool relationships, all together, this is 70%. And then the essays are going to be 30%. So keep that in mind. So if you do good in the multiple choice part, you're going to be doing good. You have about 135 minutes. That's about 2 hours. So keep that in mind. Pace yourself. Don't get distracted on the essay. When I first took my exam, I was distracted on the essays a lot, which did not give me an ample amount of time to look at the questions that I wanted to look at. I did very good in the essays because I didn't put too much time on it. I went straight to the point and I talked about it. But unfortunately, when I did the multiple choice questions, I had a hard time, especially with English language learners and diverse student population, because my topic was not that. I didn't know much about it, so when I had the questions, I just had to go on the passages. But it also goes on based on what you know as well. So if you know something, if you know English language learner skills as a teacher, you should know the answer should come right in front of you. That's what it is. Always take practice tests. There's plenty amount of practice tests online. The more you do the test questions, the more you get familiarized with it. Because think about it, they're not gonna make up. The scenarios might be different, but the questions are gonna be the same. It's gonna be asking the same amount of questions, just in a different format. Where they're gonna say Johnny, they're gonna put Bill. Where they're gonna say Cynthia, they're gonna put Amanda. So they're gonna change the names a lot. So keep that in mind. The more practice tests you do, the better you become at it, and the better the answer is gonna pop up right in front of you. The more preparation you have, the better it is. And this test is all about preparation. That's why I highly recommend it for any of those taking the test. Take workshops. If workshops are not available, make study groups. Or if you're still in college, take the exam while you're in college. So once you graduate, you don't have to worry about taking the exam, which I made that mistake. I graduated from college and I actually ended up taking these exams. Now, at that time in college, you study all these material, but once you come out and you start working, you get a hard time, grasping the material, because now you don't have enough time. You have to go to work, and school, at least it broadens and freshens your mind. So at least you know what's going on. But once you start working and you go to another field, it becomes really problematic for passing these tests. This word of advice. Study resources. These are tons of study resources. You could check any one of them. Obviously, Bilingual Education, Mandarin Reporter Resource Guide, Reading Instructions. These are very, very good special education resources, acronym and glossaries. Just if you guys do all this, hopefully it will help you broaden your mind. Keep that in mind. Educating all student tests is based on the 5 topics discussed. So all these test tips, these are good test day tips as well. Just last thing before we end the video, make sure whatever test site you go to, keep in mind, always go there early. If you haven't been to the test site location, you don't know what the situation is. You don't know if you're able to park your car, or if you don't know the transit will be late. And Pearson is very strict on that part. You have to let them know in advance something happens. When you take the test, just breathe. Take 2-3 breaths, just breathe and take the test. Now, if you don't understand the question, you're taking this test on the computer. So there's a part where you can flag the question. You can flag the question, go to the next question. The questions you don't know, come back and once, if you have enough time, then see what the answer is. Usually they say the first choice is the right answer. How much truth that is, that's up to you. Because if you know that this choice might not be the answer, and think there might be something else, some other question that you're looking at in the same passage that might be the answer, look closely. Look at what did you miss. Keep in mind, don't waste too much time on that question as well. If you don't have enough time and you're coming back and you got 10 minutes left and you have 4 questions and you finish the essays but you didn't look into it, try to look over the multiple choice question within a minute or two. You can't find it, leave the answer, then forget it. It's best off not to leave anything blank or put anything in it, or you're just gonna get your points deducted if you just leave the question blank. Go to the essays if you have time, look into it, finish it, and just breathe. If you breathe, it'll really help. Pace yourself. Pacing is very important. You have 135 minutes. It sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot of minutes, because the passages kills a lot of time. Passages are long. Passages, if you put it on a Microsoft Word, it goes up to a page at least. So it's a lot of information you have to read into it. And sometimes they purposely put information that you don't really need. That's what a lot of problem is. So they'll give you this whole passage, and the answer's not even going to be in the passage. The answer's going to be based on a situation where the teacher might tell you, that teacher might give you the learning objective and everything. The answer might be inside that part rather than putting in the passage of the whole scenario. So it's very this test is meant for people to have difficulties passing, to be honest with you. So that's what I see it as. So keep this in mind. If you study yourself, if you know what you're doing, you will pass. Other than that, hopefully I did cover most part of it. Thank you again, guys, for listening to my video, watching my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I helped in much ways I can. If you want a copy of this, you could go on Google and write down all this Nystce Educating All Student Test Study Guide for Teaching Fellows. It should be a PDF guide on Google. You could use them. Teaching Fellow was nice enough to have this, at least resources and everything else available, where sometimes it's very difficult. Keep practicing the test, multiple choice questions. The more you do it, the more better you become. If you register the test site, they actually also offer you practice tests as well. I think you have to pay like $15 to $20 if I'm correct, but they offer you online practice tests. You could use that for your practice and they will help you out as well. With that being said, thank you again, guys, for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comment, concern, please comment, like, subscribe. I'll try my best on my part to help you out as much as I can, as best as I can. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.